Hello there, back in the box. And this time we're looking at when you have a track that has already been mixed, mastered, or something like that, like an instrumental, for example, and perhaps someone still wants to sing on it, or they're replacing a vocal, or they're re-singing something, but they don't have the instruments separate so that you could do a whole new mix of the song. This happens sometimes. It can happen for various reasons. It could be that they're just doing maybe a demo for their voice, maybe to showcase their voice, so they don't necessarily need to replay and mix a whole song. They don't need all that elaborate process. Perhaps they have an instrumental of a song and they just want to add a voice on top. It's usually quite hard to make the voice sit in and feel married to that music because the music was done in a very different environment and methods and whatsoever, and already mixed and mastered, and yet the voice is coming in being recorded as a new instrument at that point, and then it becomes really hard to marry it together with the music. So in this case, we have two tracks. Here's the what I've just called track, but it's as in the song, the instrumental track, and the voice where we'll record a voice. And then this other one here is simply where my microphone is plugged in. I put a small EQ on there just to cut out the low end. And then I also put a compressor just so I control the voice. These two have been sent to a bus, like to bus 1. And which bus 1 is actually sending to the aux that is music. So they have a group, these two here. They're going to the same thing, which is this track here. So these two have been sent to this one. And this group track has got a compressor on it, and this compressor is being sidechained from input 1. Input 1 being my voice, which comes in on input 1, if you see that. Input 1, that's where my microphone is. So as soon as I speak, I can control the music. So that is the lay of the land, so we know what we're talking about. Sorry, I know you're working in Studio One and I've done this in Logic, but right now, the machine I'm working on, this is what is available. The concepts are the same. So it's just applying the same principles and it can work in any DAW. Okay, if this is playing and I sing over it, I'm just going to record like a voice here. I don't need many bars to... Every day I wait, open up a new page, and every night I close the door. I've gone ahead and chopped off what we don't need. And just left this circle where I put the voice. I don't want us to save some time. So this is what we have now. Every day I wait, open up a new page, and every I close the door. Yeah, so I've literally sung this voice with just a basic SM57 actually, not even really for voice. So it's a very dull sound, very dull delivery because I'm just sitting anyhow. But then the idea now is to try and see how can I elevate this vocal to come to par with the track that is already mixed and mastered, and then also not only come to par but actually make it sit inside that track in a natural way as if it was already part of it. So I have to first work on the voice itself. So if I go to the mixer, I don't want to, by the way, look at this. So I'm going to remove it. Like it's just taking up space. Here, The first thing is I would like to EQ this voice a bit, but it's a bit difficult because I can't even hear it enough. So I'm going to first throw a gain utility on it so I just can hear a little bit more of it. I may remove the gain thing later, depending on what else happens to it. But I'm applying it now so I can just hear exactly the things I'm working on, what's going on. Since it's just a utility, it's not actually changing anything. Mine is a mono track as I did it here, but I trust that the files that you've got of the track and of this voice recording are probably stereo. But it makes no difference in terms of how we're processing, except that you'll be choosing stereo plugins. I'm choosing mono. I'm going to boost it by about 5 dB just so that I can hear exactly what I'm doing. I'll go to the EQ. Already, because I know it's dull, there's certain things I know I want to bring out, not only high frequencies, but this area here, around this area. As humans, our ears are very sensitive to this area. Every day I wait. So I want to accentuate something there. But the other thing I would want to do is actually to remove boxiness, which probably will be happening in these areas here. Because some of these cheaper microphones, sometimes those are the areas that they overemphasize. And also the space I'm in has a particular weird sound. I can already hear it like within the space that I am. So of course it recorded that. So I'm going to try to find and locate this terrible sound and remove it. And this goes back to just 101 of notch filtering to take something, a frequency that you don't want out. So you basically would raise, but the part you're raising, you make sure that the Q is smaller so that you can identify the sound. No magic here. Let's have a listen. Every day I wait. You hear that? Which is not even the pitch that is being sung. Every day I wait. Yeah, I need to get rid of that vibe. So there we go. But I don't need it to be that acute. I can actually widen the Q a bit because I'm sure it's not a pinpointed sound. Every day I wait. Every day I wait. And I'm pretty sure I don't need any of these frequencies. If they're there, I may as well remove any lows that are necessary because I'm not singing that low for sure. Anything maybe below 75 or 70. And normally it shouldn't be like automatic that you do it to anything, but to what as I'm hearing the voice right now, those frequencies are necessary. Every day I wait. And I can even make this a bit more steep. Every day I wait. And now I need those frequencies around here that I talked about to boost them a bit, but that is too wide a thing going on there. So a curve. So I'm going to get the Q in a bit. And then let's identify the area a bit more whilst we listen. Every day I wait. Probably around 5K. Open up a new page. We got that more brighter sound to it, like a more open sound. Every day I wait. There's still a weird sound around here, so let's find it. So I need this again to be very acute so I can deal with it, turn it up a bit. Every day I wait. You hear that? Open up a new page. It's like it's playing the fifth. Every day I wait. That. So we need to pull that out. So all these kind of things is kind of like you have to pay a lot of attention, like to be alert, to be able to hear them. You can't just do this like willy-nilly and then get your sound immediately. Every day I wait. Open up a new page. There's actually another sound that is going. And again, it's a note that is not in the music. But I'm not going to like fill up the whole place with just all kinds of notches all over the place. But if you wanted to, you could again, go crazy with it and seek it out. Every day away, open up a new page. Here, I think you had it there. And there. Every day away, open up a new page. You know, those are probably room modes, like basically certain things, because the room is not treated in which I'm working right now to do this. I think it's right there. Every day away, open up a new page. Actually, it's still there. I think there's another one that is in the middle here. But like I said, I'm not going to go around notching every single little bit out. You get the point of what I'm talking about. And then on this very same track, I can go in and add maybe a gate to cut out some of the things that are in the middle. But you got to be careful with the gate. Sometimes it can cut out very important things that you really need. However, let's see what happens with one here, because I'm hearing some noise. Here the computer is going into the microphone. It's a speech microphone, or rather it has been set up for speech, and I'm using it to sing. It's room not treated and so on. So it's picking up all sorts of funny things when the voice is quiet. So let's first find a threshold. Every day away, open up a new page. And so it is, you can see open, close. So it every day away, open up a new page. Yeah, this descent and the reduction is extreme, as you can see here. I'm not going to change any of these. I'm cool with just that. It's just, I may even end up removing the gate in the end. And I'm going to add a compressor. I'm going to start with a preset somewhere, and then I'll adjust. I know, like I said, you're in Studio One, but, you know, these things can actually be done. In fact, I really like the compressor in Studio One. Can handle these kinds of things really, really well. Okay, so here again, looking for the threshold first, and then I'll look at how much I'm going to compress. Every day. So I can see it's coming in quite a large volume, but do I really need this anymore? Like this gain up that we had put on here, I'm going to take that off. Every day away. Okay, so it's hitting around there. It's not so much that I want to curtail these things. I want to kind of give the voice a bit of punch. Every day away, open up a new page. Every day away, open up a new page. Every day away. I need to make up some gain. Just a little from the compression. Every day away. I'm literally compressing from anything from around here all the way. Every day away, open up anything from around here upwards is being compressed. It's not yet like perfect. I'm going back to the gate and just adjust a little. Every day away, open up a new page. There, because I need to lift something in here. Every day away, open up a new page. Every day away, open up a new page. Yeah. So, if we were to take off all these effects, this is the voice as it was. Every day away. And this is the new voice. Every day away. So it doesn't seem like much has changed, but quite a bit has. And now I can apply another EQ on top of this. There is more to juice up a little. So I'm gonna go for a vintage console. Yeah, they lied to us with all the graphics, but it's just a basic EQ still. I'll continue to cut out a little bit more because some of these older EQs had a smoother curve. The curve is already designed for you in there. You can't do like what kind of slop you want, like we did with this. Like I could control the slop by controlling how many dB goes down per octave. In this case, that is already determined for us. And it will give us some kind of interesting character. And I'm going to cut more than we did here, where we were at 68 or whatever it is. These ends have gone, 160 or something like that, 170, something ridiculous. And then I'm going to bring up the highs a bit. Every day I wait. Around this area, if you look at like 110 and that kind of thing, it doesn't make sense because I'm already cutting lows. So I'm going to deal with the 220. That's the same area roughly that is giving us these issues here. I'm going to again cut a little bit more there with just a different EQ. Every day I wait. Something like that. Open up a new page. On this one, these are all representing kilohertz. So I'm going to go around 4.8 and then brighten the vocal. Every day I wait. Too sharp, maybe around here. Open up a new page. Every day. So I've done all this in isolation of the track, and just because we're in trying to study also how to do these things, I want you to hear any sort of change that happens. But normally I would do this whilst and keep checking or referencing or do it while the track is actually playing. So I'm gonna start doing that from now on. Every day I wait. Open up a new page. So now I can also balance this a bit. So I'm going to take the track down a smidgen. Every day I wait. Open up a new page. And also what I could do, like this thing has these different choices here. So if you're in Studio One, probably add like saturation. There's a saturation app that can add certain drive and saturation to bring out certain overtones. So I'm gonna try like a silky thing and we see what that does. Every day I wait. Open up a new page. Let's try the punchy. Every day I wait. Open up a new page. I feel I've overcooked the highs. Sorry, the top mids. So I'll pull this back a bit. Every day I wait. Open up a new page. Also the highs, I'm gonna pull them back a bit. You can see that if you're doing it with a track and then also switching the effect in and out, you can gauge the character a bit better. Every day I wait. Open up a new page. And every day I wait. Open up a new page. Now I can move to things like reverb and stuff like that. This is not like the best EQ ever or whatever, but already you can see that there's an improvement on what we're doing. So I go find like an effect. I just use this. So reverb here. I just did Julius and Wamba's lesson and I was busy misspelling everything because I was in such a rush. So I don't want to do that here. Anyway, reverb, we're going to go and choose chroma verb and get something fancy, something already created perhaps, because I have some reverbs I created, like Kisugu Church one. I like that one. And these are reverbs I created for my own use. And if you need to learn more about to create your own reverbs, reverb sounds and textures, and to recreate sounds that you already know, or rooms that you already know, you need to look up the Reverb Basics videos. And I trust I left them on the production computer at the school. I got that reverb. Oops. I got that reverb. It's a big room. You see, even on the reverb, the lows are cut out, and also the highs are cut out, and then there's a certain frequency that is also not happening somewhere in the middle here, something at around 800 to 900. Let's push some reverb to that thing. Every day I wait, open up a new page, and so I've put something, it's there, it's working. Every day I wait, open up a new page, and it sounds a little bit too much, so I'm gonna pull it back just a tad and then apply a delay. There, got a delay here. Never forgetting to name. Why I keep doing this? This is what I did. I spelled like this in Julius's class. You know what's wrong with me. Okay, delay there. Then we're gonna go and get something. Where's the delay? Yeah, let's go for a tape delay. Mono. Every day I wait, open up a new page, and by the way, I'm not gonna tickle it because I don't have time for that. I'm just gonna use it in its own thing. But when I'm trying to get it, take the reverb off a bit, try it, then put the reverb back on, like you keep testing, because you don't want to end up like overcooking something or undercooking it, just because you're not able to check one thing or the other. If you're only looking at things in isolation, it's a problem. Then also, if you're only seeing it in the context of something else, that can also be a problem. Maybe you can't utilize it properly because you can't hear exactly what it's doing. Every day I wait, open up a new page, and every day I wait, open up a new page. I could keep working on this for some time and get like a much better vocal. And even with the effects, I can have more reverbs that are more subtle. Maybe like 3 different reverbs working this thing to make it really sit in. However, we don't have much time, so I need to show you, maybe I can explain some other elements that you can do. For example, on the delay itself, you can apply reverb to the delay. With the idea that you want the delay to be pushed a little bit backwards in the mix. So you're using it as a controller of placement. However, the same thing can also be achieved in different ways. For example, applying EQ on the delay itself. Yeah. First of all, if I go back to the delay, there's a filter there, as you can see, but it has not been used, like 20 hertz. So you can, if I pull it in, anything below 100 is going to be filtered out, but with a curve to it. It doesn't just slant down like vertically. So there's a curve to it, just like any low cut. And then it's the same thing the other side. Whatever number here, anything that side now will be filtered out, but with a curve. I don't want to use that one. It works. It can work. I want to be a bit more precise, or at least to have the opportunity to be precise if I need to. And so this means I can come in here and cut out any low frequencies from my delay. And then I can accentuate it in particular places that I want. Like say at around 2K if there's something I want, but it's just like a little bell. And then maybe this side, I can still cut out some of those high frequencies if they're extreme. But let's have a listen to that. Every day I wait, And in a sense, it will fall back a bit and it will sound like it's just beefing up the reverb actually, rather than being delay that you're hearing repetitions of sounds. Because if I take the reverb off right now and you just hear the delay. Every day I wait. Yeah, it is there and it's not ridiculous. It just helps the piece, the voice, sit in a bit more. That EQ idea is something we already did like in semester 2 or 3, I think 3. And it's the same thing, like within the reverb, you can also have some equalization of what you're working on. You see, like within this particular one, there's a whole EQ thing going on. You can see here, this is very elaborate. So you can EQ things here and then you can get a little bit deep and so on. So here you're EQing the room and then you're EQing it as it goes out as well. So this idea of just smacking delay and reverb onto things without actually working on that actual effect to be its best suited self for a track, it can also not be a good thing. I mean, you don't always have to go into all that much detail depending on what your needs are. But now in this case, you're really trying to make something sit with something, to sit into a track. And in this case, a pre-existing track that you cannot actually change. So it actually helps to be able to control every aspect as much as possible so that you can achieve that goal. So again, for matters of time, I'm going to do everything, complete everything here. Otherwise, what you would have done is like to export this, bounce it out, and maybe you could put like a little bit of compression just to gel it together, because now we've got the track, the voice, and then the two different effects. So we can put those together and for everything to gel. Compression can help, or even something like an expander. However, we're not going to export it. We would have exported it, then gone and master it either in another program or in this one, but we're looking at just mastering. But because there's so few elements here, I'm actually going to master from here immediately. So if I go in and go to compressor on there, I'm going to use something here and I look for something that is useful for gelling things together. Because the track is already mastered and obviously already totally compressed, you don't want now to do some crazy things that are going to like mash it up and make it less enjoyable. It will lose its freedom, so to speak. So I'm going to get like a light compression. I'm starting with this one just as a preset and then I'll work it a bit. The ratio was already too high. I don't like that. So every day I wait, open up a new page, and every day I wait, open up a new page, and every day I wait. Yeah, so you don't want to compress and then have like new volumes just because you've compressed. You know, it needs to be that the character of the music, like in this case, is controlling maybe the heat of the drum, and then against also the voice. So you get a nice sound, or at least a more gelling sound. So it's just a very subtle compression. Actually, it's not that subtle, to be honest. But as you can see, it's not. It's not, by the way, when I was speaking, of course, because my voice is also coming out of this stereo output, so you are seeing the meter move. But my point was that it wasn't moving when most of the track is playing. It wasn't doing any reduction while the track was moving. Until that drum hit. Open up a new page. And it's also responding to the voice. So helping it sit in. So that's one. Then I can go and maybe add an exciter on that. Let's get that. Where is it? Where is it? Sorry, get an expander.
Every day I wait, open up a new page, and
Again, I've chosen a preset.
I wait, open up a new page, and every day I wait, open up a new page,
and you see, I'm not gonna really disturb this too much. I just want it to be subtle, and it pretty much is. Just to contain again that drum and the voice, so that now those things, which the louder parts, sit inside a bit more, until you start to believe that this voice is actually part of this tune. And of course, at the end of all that affair, we can have our limiter on top of this. Even though you see with the expander, you can do certain things that can help. In a sense, you can do almost limiting in here. These gadgets are all compressors in some way, because the limiter itself is like just an extreme compressor, like compressing to infinity, so to speak. Okie doke.
every day I wait, open up a new page, and
because it was already a mastered track, if you see here, I cut like 1.5 dB. If I bring back more than 1.5 dB here, as I just did, the track starts to sound funny. You start to hear some strings building out, coming out of the mix, and they're sounding like there's a weird wave or pumping effect of some sort, and it's not nice at all. So I shouldn't overcook this. I should be wary of that number, because it was there to kind of like give me room. So let's see.
every day I wait, open up a new page, and
Yeah, and I think I'll stop there. So this one I can export, and then I have my new thing, and the voice is sitting in like as if it was there. Maybe not exactly, because we haven't really put in the work, but you get the principles. And sorry, I'd taken the reverb off there.
every day I wait, open up a new page, and every night I close the door.
Yeah, you get the idea. So I think you should try that out. I know it's in Studio One, so all the plugins will be looking all different and everything on your side, but the principles are the same. Then any questions that you have, you can forward them to me in the Google class, and then we see where to take it from there. Okay, take care now. Bye.